And we will get right into it.
All right. What's going on, Jonathan Isaac? Right now we on KRSM 98.9. And our first question is always an open-ended question. So we know who you are, but tell our audience who you are in your own words.
Who I am. I mean, my name is Jonathan Isaac. I'm a 24-year-old NBA player. I play for the Orlando Magic. I'm a Christian. For me, that drives a lot of the decisions that I make, and I try my best to be, informed about everything that I do and just keep it moving, trying to make it out here.
Okay. So you made the headlines at the end of September about your choice not to take the vaccine. What went into that decision? And did you ever think about getting it? Did you ever think about getting it, or was it automatically like, yo, I'm not taking this stuff?
From the jump, honestly, just paying attention to what everybody was saying and all the craziness that was going on, I already had my hesitancy. But just how hard everybody was pushing it. And I'm just like, you know what, let me just learn more about it, see what everybody's saying, see what everybody's doing. And then I ended up getting COVID. I was down for my 3 days, and I'm like, shoot, I'm good now.
Exactly.
Knowing what I know about infections and all that stuff, like once you get it, you straight. And then it was still like this push to like, you still need to get it. I'm like, why? And because I had it already, and then just listening to everything that was going on, I kind of made a decision for myself that I felt like, I'm better off not taking it, and then opening myself up to the possibility of having an adverse reaction to it. And then obviously with it not stopping infection or transmission, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. So when did you find out about like the different protocols that there would be for vaccinated players or unvaccinated players in the NBA?
I found out a little bit before the season was going to start. And they told us that, unvaccinated players, you won't be able to do this, do that. And, it was like, do you still want to take it? Do you still want to not take it?
Right.
I'm like, you're making me not want to take it even more, just because, the way y'all going about it. So yeah, I was just like, nah, I'm okay. I'll follow the protocol and keep it moving.
Yeah, man, because like we be saying to people all the time, we like, yo, like these people is like saying, they like, yo, you get a free car if you get a vaccine. You get free Popeye's chicken if you get the vaccine. It's like, yo, what is going on? It's like, do y'all see how crazy this stuff sounds, man? You know what I mean? It's insane out here, man. So as of today, do you have any questions about the vaccines or any concerns of the effectiveness? Like, do you still have any more questions? You know what I mean? About the vaccine? Do you ever think you would take the vaccine?
This one, no.
Right.
And, this one, no. I don't really have any more questions about it. I feel like I'm at a pretty good standpoint of like understanding about it. I think, moving forward, it's like, yo, like I think they want you to take a booster if you had the Johnson & Johnson 2 months ago. It's like, yo, like, and so there's just a whole lot of questions in terms of, the effectiveness of it. I think that there are absolutely people who should take it or are more in a better position or inclined to take it. Obviously the elderly and the people, the average age of dying of COVID is like 79. And so, so it's like, I think that there are people who should take it to protect themselves. But I think once you take it, it's a vaccine that they're telling you, why are you still, afraid, or why are you worried about anybody who is unvaccinated if you've taken the measures yourself?
Right.
And to me, they should be the most, relaxed people about it. Like, yo, you're the one who's still out there, with a possibility of getting COVID because you weren't vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. I'm straight. But obviously now that you've seen a lot of the breakthrough cases and all that stuff, it does raise alarm to the effectiveness of the vaccine. But there's a lot going on, man. Like, the whole myocarditis and pericarditis in young men and all that stuff. It's like, yo, chalk this up to just a black and white thing of you should or should not get it. It makes no sense. It's a nuanced issue. There's a lot going on. And the biggest thing for me, honestly, in the beginning was like, it was the religious freedom standpoint. Like for you to be able to tell me or tell somebody else, your religious freedom does not count in this time. It's like, okay, then if it don't count now, can you just make up when it don't count next time and tell me it don't count? Like, no.
Right. Do your teammates, because a lot of times when people say they don't want to take the vaccine for this reason or that reason or whatever, you have other people come back and say, yo, you talking misinformation, you a conspiracy theorist, you know what I mean? You all of this. Like, do you have people saying that to you?
I mean, outside of Twitter, no. Teammates in the organization have been cool about it. I think if you're going to be a genuine person, you're going to look at everything that's going on, and even how much the people who are in charge of this thing have flip-flopped about what's right, what's wrong, mask, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine, natural immunity, no natural immunity. It's like, if you're going to take that at face value, there is grounds to say, okay, this should be everybody's free individual choice to get or not. And if it's not like that, to me, it raises eyebrows about, why. And, you take into account how much money has been made off of this whole thing, and to act like everything is just, public health and genuine, we care about you and all that stuff. No, people turn a hand over fist, for this vaccine.
Right.
And the thing that was alarming to me is like at first their tagline was like, we're going by the data, we're going by science. But then as soon as that science didn't prove what they were trying to make it prove, then nobody goes by the science anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even on TV, when I hear people talking about it, it's like nobody's going by the science anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because the science is not reflecting that the vaccine even works. You know what I'm saying?
It's like we dictate what it is, and that's the thing, that other people have seen and kind of giving me it back as well. It's like, we write the rules, we tell you what it is that's right or wrong, and if you even question it or even have anything, you a conspiracy theorist, you ain't know what you're talking about, you spreading misinformation, and that stuff is like, okay, full stop. I ain't walking with you no more, because it's not making much sense. And so it's just the kind of like the pride in it, or like the entitlement to information, and you can't find any information outside of what I'm saying. And there aren't studies from other countries and things like that don't corroborate what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So when you announced at the press conference, you weren't going to take you already answered this question. Everybody in the organization and your teammates and the media in Orlando and Florida, they all supported you, or for the most part, they supported you?
Yeah, for the most part, they've been cool. Like I had reporters after the press conference come up to me and was like, "Yo, I don't agree in terms of I got the vaccine, but you make a lot of sense, and I'm
right."
So like, I feel like if you're gonna listen to that, and you a sensible person who doesn't have an agenda, who doesn't have anything in this, you're gonna walk away like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? The dude had it already. This, then the third, he's healthy, and at the end of the day, getting the vaccine don't stop you from getting it or transmitting it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cause a lot of prominent people shared that video. Yeah, I'm talking about a lot, because we had the brother Reza Islam. I don't know if you know who Reza Islam is.
I saw. Not to cut you off, but I saw a video of him. He was debating this guy. About the vaccine on this show. I did this show with the two brothers, and I saw it. I was like,
right. Hey, that guy. Yo, if you don't follow him, you should follow him. He's like a encyclopedia. He knows. He got a lot of. Yeah, man. Yeah, he got a lot of information on the COVID vaccine, all that stuff. He met with the American frontline doctors and all that stuff, man. But yeah, we had him on the show. Cool. Yeah, he very knowledgeable, man.
So tell us about your family dynamic growing up. You know what I'm saying? Did you grow up a Christian and a conservative, or did you become that way over time as you got older?
Yeah, I mean, my dad was a Holy Ghost. He was in church all the time. Definitely a Christian conservative household. Growing up.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Yeah, because I was thinking like, okay. We'll jump into this. Okay, so how did your upbringing play a part in you standing up for the flag when everybody else was sitting down and you stood up for the flag? Like did that play a part in you just standing up for the flag?
I would say I wasn't always Christian. You know what I'm saying? I had my time of growing up Christian and getting into the league, and in high school and college and doing my own thing. But when I had got drafted and I had got everything that I thought I was looking for and I needed, and I found out, it's not what it's all chucked up to be. And a lot of dudes is out here hurting and soulless. I'm like, yo, Jesus is the answer. And
absolutely
I've been down that road, and I go to church here in Orlando, Jump Ministry School for Church for a while now, and it's just been great. And so exploring that and figuring that out for my life. And but my stand was just about, yo, like, I see everything that you see in terms of all of the division and all the craziness that's going on. But I don't have an agenda in on it. And I just believe that Christ has been the answer for my life. And that's what I wanted to offer to everybody else. Like, you have your solution. You feel like kneeling for the national anthem and wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt goes hand in hand with supporting Black lives. Cool. That's what you do. But I believe that Jesus Christ is going to be the thing that changes this whole world at the end of the day, because he's changed me. And, that's what I wanted to offer as a solution.
Were there any conversations after that, like with your teammates? How was that locker room aspect when you stand up and then they're kneeling, or you decide not to wear the shirt? How was that locker room dynamic? What type of conversations come up?
Yeah, I mean, not everybody was supportive of it, and I get it. They wanted to come together and do their thing, and wanted everybody to be on one accord. And I get that, but we all had a group conversation, and my thing was like, look, I didn't say nothing to you when you had made your decision to kneel.
Right.
We're not going to act like I'm the one that's an outlier. Like, y'all to kneel. And so it's like, look, I respect you. You a man, you stand on your own 2 feet, and you decided to kneel for the national anthem. I just asked for that same respect in return. I wasn't protesting your protest. I was giving my answer, for what I see, in the world today. And we squashed it like that.
Right. It's, so you didn't wear the Black Lives Matter shirt. How do you feel about the Black Lives Matter, like the activist group, the protesters? Like, do you have like your own views on that, or?
I feel like, my issue was, I was made to feel like, and a lot of people was made to feel like, wearing the t-shirt and kneeling for the national anthem was like synonymous with supporting Black lives. Like, if you did it, you down, you with us, you cool with us. And if you didn't, then you have ill intentions, or you don't believe that Black lives, you need support at all. And then, I didn't agree with that at all. And I don't like that. And, if I don't protest how you protest, then it disqualifies mine or whatever. And then the thing about it is, like, from the very foundation of, my understanding, the answer for what we're looking for is not going to be found in people. And what I saw was people, exploiting the situation that we found ourselves in as African Americans in this country, and the whole, George Floyd situation, exploiting that for their own ends. And they can't have the answer themselves. So it's like they provide you that's ultimately bankrupt in getting real change and real thing. Because at the end of the day, when you talk about hatred and division, all that, it's going to be changing everybody's individual hearts. And you take Dr. Martin Luther King, even, like, so much of his movement wasn't just the walking, it wasn't just the nonviolence, it was spiritual. It was understanding that at the end of the day, good is the only thing that overcomes evil. And so I just didn't rock with it from the beginning. Like, I don't agree with your premise. I don't agree with your solutions. And that's that.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Also, because that was in a bubble. So how did you feel when, like, there was, like, Black Lives Matter, like, on the floor, or even, like, people could have the different things on their jerseys, or even how the group of words were selected that you could have on your jersey or whatever. Like, how did you feel about that whole process of that being implemented to the NBA?
A big part of it is the visual. A big part of it is just, everybody wants to virtue signal that, I'm on your side, care about you, and take the big corporations. All they got to do is put out a tweet or put out something, and they cool. They don't got to do anything real change. They ain't got to get no money. They ain't got to, really go into these communities and affect change. They just got to say something, and then it's like, okay, you cool, you off the hook. And so, I understand the nature of the game. That those things are part of the political side of, how everything has become so politicized. You got to say the words. You got to put it on the thing. You got to do that. You got to do this. And so, I don't necessarily, like, go at the NBA like you a fool or you messed up for doing this. I get it. And a lot of people have been, like, backed into a corner of, like, they feel the pressure of having to either to kneel or not. And there's a lot of people who is like, my gut instinct was not to kneel, but I feel the pressure, and so I kneel. And so I'm like, at the end of the day, everybody gonna make their own decision.
Right. It's amazing that you're in Orlando, because y'all got like the Florida y'all governor that y'all have is amazing, man. You know what I mean? So okay, so like Kyrie Irving is in New York. You know what I mean? He's in New York, so that's hurting him. Would you take the same stance as Kyrie if you was in that position?
I would. I would. I'm not saying it would be easy, but that's the position that I would take. Kyrie and myself. We're thinking about the people who are voiceless, the people who are losing their jobs, the people who you got to decide on whether to put something in their body to appease the government or to right. or to keep their bodily autonomy. And so that's what he's thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about. And he has my, he got my respect, for standing on his morals and standing on his grounds. At the end of the day, for me, when it comes to the money piece, it's like, look, my future's solidified. I know that God got me. And if I was to be in a place where I was getting paid, I know he'd make a way. And so, he's got my respect.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
Okay. I saw that you spoke at, they said the National Conservatism Conference. How did that go?
It was cool. It was different. I never been like that, and I've never really necessarily been, that political. But I think a lot of times today it's like, your decisions individually. It's like it's all politics now. And
yeah, absolutely.
All politics. So it was cool. It was different. To see a bunch of people. I had my words while I was there talking about some different things, and one of the things was like, what can the conservative party better do to aid the Black community and things like that. So we talked about it, but it was cool.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot.
Go ahead. We
talk about that a lot on our show too. So do you have any specifics on that as far as what the conservative or even Republicans, what can they do? And it's not just about what can they do to get more votes, but what can they do to actually build a relationship with the Black community?
Yeah, one of the things that I said is in order to reach the Black community, you're going to have to love the Black community in a way that transcends politics, that transcends the talking points and the back and forth between the left and
absolutely.
The right. My opinion on this is that the other side is a facade of what things really are. So to me, they're a facade of what true love is. They're a facade of what true equality and empathy and compassion, all that stuff is fake. So how can we be the real thing? You know what I'm saying? How can we be real love? How can we be real empathy and real compassion and show it the real way? Because, on the side of freedom and on the side of truth is the only way that you can do those things. And so, so I was pretty much saying that, it took a whole bunch of money to put that conference on, but we could have did that, in one of these neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? With a, I don't know, drive or something like that. And then you come out and talk.
Right.
So, you in order to reach the Black community, you're going to have to love it. And I think, doing what the other side has done so well is they've been able to brandish you hear conservative, you automatically think racist. When conservative, it's a set of ideals and it's a framework.
Yes.
It's a framework of ideas and things that, to me, that best aid prosperity among any people. True that, Black Americans have had a harder time, absolutely, because of slavery, because of all these different things, to step into this system and be able to thrive in it. That's facts. That's 100. So how can conservatives be able to do both? How can they advocate for these ideals and these things that, to me, best aid prosperity, but at the same time understand that there are people who can as easily jump into the American dream as everybody else? And how can we support? How can we offer aid? How can we offer a helping hand to those people to get them into the framework? Because, Black people already grew up conservative. You know what I'm saying?
We say that. You say that all the time. Every show. We say that every show, man. Like, we already conservative, man.
And that's the thing. The set of ideals that we grew up with in our household is very conservative.
Yeah.
But I never knew not one Black person who was voting for a Republican or voting for a conservative candidate. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that I think is what you're saying. Is the facade of love. Is the facade that we care for you and we care about your community. That means a lot to Black people. But we have to recognize that it's the facade. It's not the real thing. Because on the back end, nothing is really done for us.
Exactly. And so I'm like, yo, can we offer that in a real way? And I think that is going to be the thing that kind of cuts through all of the thing. And it's not just because the other side has been so good at making, you hear the word conservatives, you think racist. The conservative side, they haven't done a great job of controlling messaging, of being able
absolutely
to get out. One of the things that I said at the conference was like, if me speaking at a conservative concert, people could call me a white supremacist. They're going to be like, yo, this guy is a white supremacist, all that stuff. Yep. I'm like, but there are people, Black people in the Orlando community that could say, no, that brother knocked on my door and fed my family during COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The story of the Good Samaritan, the people could have been like, oh, the dude that picked you up, he's this, he's that. He's like, no, he stopped on the road and helped me and gave me some money and make sure I was. You can say everything you want about conservatives, but if conservatives start really showing up in these neighborhoods and doing the work, and it's going to come at a sacrifice to them, but that's what love is. Love is
right.
Action, not what you say. Love is what you do. And because godliness God is a tenet of conservatism, in my opinion. If we can walk out, love somebody, walk out what it is to sacrifice for somebody, those people will be more apt to join it.
Absolutely. Okay, so do you see yourself speaking at more of these conferences? Because we was at the CPAC in Texas, and it's going to be a CPAC in Orlando in 2022. That's like the conservative convention thing. You know what I mean? And a lot of conservatives be there. And would you go to something like that? Because that's like right in your backyard.
Man, listen, I would go to any, I would go to anything. Like I'm not, if they asked me to speak at, I don't know what the opposite side would be. If they asked me to speak at something that was, I would go because, I'm found on my ideals and what it is that I stand for. At the end of the day, everything with me goes through Christ. So it's like, look, I'll go and I'll speak and I'll say what I got to say and keep it moving. And so if I'm invited, if I'm asked to speak, I'm going to go.
That's what's up, man.
That's how we was, man. We went to CPAC, man. A lot of people was like, yo, why y'all want to go out there? But it's the same way for us, man. We feel like we can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? We got a strong foundation. You know what I'm saying? We believe in Christ. We believe we're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So there is no closed door for us. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't walk around with that fear. A lot of people have fear of being in the wrong room. We don't have a fear of being in the wrong room. We don't have a fear of having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So that's just man. It's the world we living in now.
That just means your argument is weak.
Right? Exactly.
You got to speak to your own echo chamber of people that agree with you. It's like, no, I have my set of ideas. You feel like to be a Black conservative or anything like that is crazy. Let's talk about it and let's see why.
I know when we went down, everybody was like, oh man, y'all be careful down there. Y'all know how the Texas white people are. Y'all might get hung down there. We like, yo, chill. What are y'all talking about? Man, hey man, we went down there, man. They loved us. Everybody loved us down there, man. We had a good time, man. It was amazing.
And I'll just close off with this. Like, that's not to say that everything is perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's not
right.
It's not to say that there isn't racism on both sides, but it's not to say that there's no racism at all in conservatives or Republican. But at the end of the day, the conservatism is not about your skin color. It's not about it's like being in America, right? America, there's a bunch of different cultures, there's a bunch of different races, but you prescribe to the American system. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You prescribe to the American dream, and that's why so many people want to come here. So it's like we can talk about the things on a personal level in terms of races. We can advocate. We can call out the evil for what it is, but that doesn't influence the ideals of conservatism. What I feel like if you a racist, you already got a strike against you for even thinking yourself as a conservative anyway. Because of
absolutely
exactly.
Because at the end of the day, God is love, and every man has been created equal in his likeness and his image. And so the whole thing about there's somebody on that side who is racist. It's like, what that got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? If somebody on your
Absolutely.
side, somebody on your side is a pedophile, does that change what it is that you believe about how the country should be ran?
Exactly.
Man, that's great, but because that's what they try. That's the trick. That's a trick. They try to make the face of it something else than what it really is, and something terrible. So then they can use that to scare people off. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they've been doing. But that's politics, though. That's how politics work.
Hey, the media crazy, man. They have statements like Trump MAGA, white supremacist, Bible, Christian lover, don't want to wear a mask. You know what I mean? It's like they throw all of these things so they can catch. You know, they throw all these things all in one. You know, it's so crazy, man. So we got one last question for you. So you made it to the NBA. What's the one piece of advice that you would like to give kids who want to make it to the NBA? What would your advice be to them?
Hold on, let me hop in right before you answer that, because me and my brother we both played college basketball. It was JUCO and D3 or whatever. Right. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Listen, there is nothing harder than playing college basketball to me. But you've made it to the next level. So do you have any advice, man?
Yeah, it's a two-part question. You know, I think with like you're talking about the kind of households that we grew up in, that a tentative conservatism or that side is hard work, and it's like you go out here and nobody's gonna give you nothing. You got to get out here and you got to grind. You got to be about what you want to say you're about. So any young kid, the first advice is you got to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? You got to find your free time at the court. You got to find your free time in the weight room. You got to we played so much basketball growing up. Like every day was about getting to the gym and just hooping. And then it turned into more of like working on stuff and working on different skills and stuff to project, myself to the next level. But it's like, that's what it was all the time, always. And, that kept me out of a lot of trouble. That kept the homies out of a lot of trouble and stuff like that. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing I would say, that not everybody's meant to. And what I believe for myself and understanding that, like, our lives are laid out by God, and whether we want to, subject to his will is on us. But it's like not every black kid is meant to, hoop. Not every black kid is meant to play football. There are kids that are so smart that are meant to go in and change this world and be leaders and politicians and all these different things. And they should have the freedom to, without that weight of you got to be a baller, you got to be a hooper. So it's like at the end of the day, your foremost relationship should be Christ, and you let him lead you on where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. So, to a degree, I'm glad you fellas ain't hooping. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. Is it any other thing you want to say to leave off?
Just for the nature of it, I got to plug my. I'm working on a book right now called Why Stand, and so okay. Why stand? It stems off of the whole standing in the bubble, and then obviously with the vaccine today too, standing up for what it is that you believe in. And what happened with me is that so many people came out and said, "Yo, this dude is so courageous. This dude is so bold. This dude is so." I'm like, "Yo, you have no idea where it is that I come from or what it is that I've had to go through to get to this place." Like, I was on anxiety medication while I was at Florida State, hooping, and that's something that nobody. Right. So I struggled with all that stuff about, being an individual and talking and all that stuff. And I found my identity, my boldness, my confidence. I found that all in Christ, and to where I'm like, yo, I'm willing to stand on what it is I believe in, because I know that I believe on a rock that can't fall at the end of the day. And so that has been the essence of my journey. And the book just lays that out for people.
Oh, wow, man. We're going to keep an eye on it, but let us know, man. As soon as that book come out, you can come back and promote it and everything, man. We support it.
Yep. We appreciate you, and thanks for coming on, brother.
Yeah, no problem.